he realized that a regular that can rap, but just not the way we do it. By the way, he makes 50,000 per battle. Has about 5-6 battles a year. So, he makes at least $250,000 a year. You understand? Great credit score. I never seen a person with a credit score like this in my life. Remy Ma finally dropped the bombshell that no one was supposed to hear. Or maybe everyone secretly knew but never dared to say out loud. What happens when the Queen of Bronx rap pulls back the velvet curtain and exposes the most humiliating truth about the so-called perfect hip-hop marriage? You get betrayal, divorce papers, and a scandal so messy that even reality TV producers would blush. For years, Remy and Papoose were paraded as relationship goals. Power couple, black love royalty. The kind of pair magazines shoved down our throats as proof that loyalty still exists in the music industry. But if loyalty means suffering in silence while your man can't even fulfill your most basic desires, then who exactly was winning here? And now the whispers have turned into screams. Anonymous friends say Remy couldn't keep pretending anymore. Screenshots allegedly leaked by someone close to the couple suggest that the bedroom was the battlefield and Papoose was losing badly. Imagine building your entire brand on being the supportive husband only to be exposed as the one thing no man ever wants to be called. Not enough. So buckle up, because what Remy Ma just revealed might be the real reason this marriage collapsed. They always said Remy Ma and Papoose were untouchable. Hip-hop's real ride or die couple. Headlines screamed for years. Instagram fan pages spammed the word goals like it was a prayer, as if hashtags alone could hold a marriage together. But goals don't pay the emotional bills, do they? Goals don't light up the bedroom when one person is left staring at the ceiling while the other snores in blissful ignorance. And goals definitely don't stop the truth from leaking out when the queen herself decides she's done pretending. The cracks had been there all along. If anyone bothered to look closely. Remember those awkward interviews where Papoose would hype himself up as the perfect husband while Remy just sat there with that forced smile? Yeah, now those clips feel less like couple goals and more like receipts. Anonymous insiders who suddenly can't stop talking say that behind closed doors, the so-called fairy tale looked more like a slow-motion train wreck. Imagine the power of Remy Ma, a woman who can rip an opponent apart with 16 bars, forced to live with a man who allegedly couldn't deliver where it mattered most. You don't need a tabloid to connect those dots. You just need a brain. Like the richest people that I've been around. But anyway, unlike some people who beg me to add their name to one of my properties and I have a __, lien on it because they don't pay any taxes. One leaked source claims the tension started years ago quietly when Remy returned from prison. Pap had been the loyal husband during her bid, showing up, smiling, and branding himself as the definition of loyalty. But loyalty, darling, doesn't equal satisfaction. Loyalty can only carry you so far when your partner whispers late at night, "This isn't working." He couldn't believe he and couldn't fathom. Why him? So why he's sitting there? She was saying why goods? Why you lying? You was devastated that a regular that used to according to whispers floating around Bronx streets. Papoose tried everything. Gifts, trips, even desperate studio sessions trying to write songs about their unbreakable love. But songs don't heal resentment. And once resentment creeps into the bedroom, it's game over. By the time the public started noticing their Instagram posts looked off, the damage was already done. Sources claim Remy had confided to her circle of friends, one of whom couldn't keep their mouths shut, that perhaps not the man people think he is. And no, she wasn't talking about rap skills. She was talking about performance. She was talking about the one thing no proud husband ever once leaked. The bedroom scorecard. Allegedly, that scorecard wasn't just low, it was blank. And Remy, a woman with options, power, and a career still blazing, wasn't about to live like that forever. Then came the whispers about the new man, a mysterious figure who supposedly gave Remy exactly what she'd been missing. The word around the industry was that this man fulfilled all her desires. And trust me, the emphasis wasn't on emotional support or holding hands at the park. If you catch my drift, you catch my drift. Suddenly, every picture of Remy smiling without Pap in the frame started looking suspicious. Every girl's night out turned into speculation. Every interview where Remy dodged a question became fuel for gossip sites. Papoose, meanwhile, clung to his image like a lifeboat. He played the loyal man card so hard it became a punchline. Anonymous DMs allegedly showed him begging Remy to stop embarrassing me in public. Imagine the humiliation of being painted as hip-hop's king of loyalty only for your wife to casually hint that another man was giving her everything you couldn't. That's not just betrayal. It's public execution. And Remy didn't even flinch. Remember that one Instagram live where she said, "Everything is signed and ready to go"? At the time, people thought she was bluffing. Divorce rumors pop up all the time in this industry. But then she added, "He's been acting like the emotional girl he is." That wasn't just shade. That was a kill shot. A man who spent his entire career branding himself as masculine, protective, and loyal reduced to a girl in front of millions. That's not an argument. That's a funeral. And fans ate it up like free samples at Costco. The timeline of the breakdown is murky. But one thing is clear. Remy knew exactly what she was doing. Every word, every leaked statement, every sarcastic jab was calculated. This wasn't just a breakup. This was a demolition. She wanted the world to know the truth, or at least her version of it. That Papoose couldn't fulfill her desires. The divorce papers were just the official paperwork stapled to a scandal that had already gone viral. And then the interviews started piling up. One day she's on a live stream laughing at comments about Pap being a bozo. Another day she's in a radio interview half smiling as she drops the line that made headlines everywhere. "My new man takes care of all my desires." Translation: Papoose was out and his replacement was scoring points left and right. Fans were stunned, haters were delighted, and gossip sites practically went into cardiac arrest trying to keep up with the fallout. Papoose's reaction: classic denial. He ran to social media, posting vague quotes about loyalty, family, and betrayal. He accused Remy of being a liar, a cheater, and even tried to flex by claiming he wrote 90% of her rhymes. But the more he shouted, the more desperate he looked. You can scream liar all you want, but when the queen herself is hinting you weren't man enough in the most private place of all, well, no PR team in the world can fix that. Anonymous insiders claim Pap even considered legal action against bloggers spreading the story. But let's be real, once a narrative takes off, you can't put that genie back in the bottle. Screenshots, memes, shady subtweets, they spread faster than wildfire. And every single one circled back to the same humiliating headline. Remy Ma left Papoose because he couldn't fulfill her desires. This isn't just a scandal. This is a legacy-shattering, ego-crushing implosion. For years, Pap built his identity around being the supportive husband, the loyal king, the perfect match. Now he's the punchline. The guy whose wife went public and basically said he wasn't enough. So I found someone who was. That's not just messy. It's catastrophic. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, another layer of the scandal drops, dragging in names no one expected. Another layer of the scandal drops. And suddenly this isn't just Remy versus Papoose anymore. This is an entire industry circus with new names getting the internet laughed, roasted, and dragged. One viral tweet summed it up perfectly. He gave her loyalty. She gave him alimony and Papoose. He wasn't letting it slide. Anonymous sources close to him claimed he was ready to